either the Knicks or the Nets yet?
Yeah, so the draft process is new. It's brand new, so I didn't know what to expect coming into this draft process. I know that it was a lot different before COVID times, but now that all we're limited to do is Zoom meetings, I've been getting the most out of that. So it's definitely a good experience. And to answer your question, yes, I have.
Both Knicks and the Nets?
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good luck.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. The next question will go to Aaron Rose.
Isaiah, thanks for doing this. I'm wondering what part of your game you think will translate best to the next level.
Yeah, I think right off the bat, my shooting will bring a lot to a team. Being able to stretch the floor, keep movement, keep spaced out, occupy a defender, things like that. I think right off the bat, that's something that a team can utilize from me. And something that's very underrated is my defensive IQ. I feel like, I'm in the right spot at all times. And, I step in and take charges and get steals on my lane. So those are things I really think that a team can use from me right off the bat.
Is there an area of your game that you've been working on over the offseason?
Most definitely. Right now, I think one of the biggest things is putting on weight and muscle, which I am, and it's going really good through this little off time that we're having. I'm continually working on my ball handling. Right now, I'm a capable ball handler, so if a team needed me to bring the ball up the court at any time, I could do that. But I'm continually working on that. But at the end of the day, I'm going to keep the main thing the main thing. I want to be the best shooter on the court at all times.
And last one for me. Have you spoken to the Toronto Raptors?
I have.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Great, thank you. For our next question, we'll go to Kevin McPherson.
You're muted, Kevin. Kevin, I think you have us muted.
Kevin, you take your phone off mute, your device. You're on mute.
Okay. Sorry about that. All right, guys. Isaiah, looking back at your career at Arkansas and being the leader in the SEC in three-point shots, and you did it in a variety of ways, but matching up with a guy like Tyler Hero in your first season at Kentucky, you've seen the success he's had in these NBA playoffs, not going to play in the finals, and you've matched up with him even before college. Talk about looking at players that you've actually played against and seeing their success, and does that feed you at all in terms of maybe how you envision yourself and a role for yourself at the next level?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's definitely a reason that these players are having the success that they have. I mean, it's the hours that they put into the gym, the dedication that they have to the game, and it's not gonna go unanswered. So, I mean, all I have to do is go in with the same amount of energy, the same tenacity that they have, and my career can definitely be just as successful as them. But hard work, it pays off for sure.
Also, I know that whatever workouts you're able to do at this time, talk maybe a little bit about the difference in working out and preparing for the NBA game versus what you might have been used to through other parts of your career through high school and college.
Yeah, so right now, working on a lot of things that I would get out of sets, or things that I would be, if I'm in a certain position, moves that I may be able to utilize to get open. I'm working on my catching off the shooting off the catch, coming off screens and things of that sort. Continually working on my creating off the dribble, which I feel like I've gotten a lot better at. And so those are things that I'm working on right now.
Thank you, Isaiah.
Welcome.
Great, thanks. For our next question, we'll go to Luis Polozzi.
Hey Isaiah, until your injury against Ole Miss this year, you were shooting 39% from the field and 36% from three. After the injury, your numbers dropped a little bit, shooting 34% from the field and 32% from three. Were you 100% in those last final games, or do you think the injury affected your performance?
The injury definitely happened, and my numbers did drop during that time. But after I came back from surgery, I was putting up the numbers that I used to. I was shooting at a better percentage. But through those 5-6 games where I was injured, my percentage just plummeted, and it was tougher in the games. But the team and the coaches still felt like it was best for me to be out on the court. I could have been occupying a defender or something like that, still stretching the floor, which I did. But yes, I feel like the injury did, affect the way I played. But after I came back from surgery, I felt like I was back at 100%.
Great, thank you. For our next question, we'll go to Chris Greenham.
Hey, Isaiah. You've got a lot of pluses right now during your pre-draft process. You're a versatile shooter, good perimeter defender. What do you view as your biggest strength right now at this point in your process?
My shooting. I feel like I said earlier, my ability to stretch the floor, knock down the shot at a high percentage. That's something that's, I really lean on a lot. That's my biggest aspect right now in my game, and that's something that I'm going to continue to perfect.
And a quick follow-up. Have you met with the Celtics?
No, I haven't.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Isaiah. With our next question, we'll go to Randy Zella.
Hey, Isaiah. Thanks for taking a few minutes today. Can you talk about the process since this has not been a normal NBA combine draft camp? Can you talk about the different type of processes and some of the challenges that you've had preparing for the draft?
Yeah, so right off the bat, coming into the process, knowing that all we could do is Zoom meetings, we weren't able to, get in like physical contact with the team and do workouts. So that was definitely something I was looking forward to, but wasn't able to due to COVID. So we were limited to the Zoom meetings. But this is my first year. This was my first year testing the water. So at the end of the day, I didn't know what to expect regardless. So it's still a new and good experience.
Thank you.
Thanks, Isaiah. With our next question, we'll go to Dwayne Rankin. With our next question, we'll go to Dwayne Rankin.
My bad. I'm good. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, Isaiah. Just had a couple things. First, you might have already been asked this, and you have. I apologize. But what do you feel like you can bring to an NBA team right away?
Yeah, so I can bring my shooting ability to a team. I've said that my ability to stretch the floor, knock down the three at a high percentage. I have deep range, being able to occupy a defender at all times, and my defensive ability, I think I could bring that to a team too. I have very high IQ defensively, being able to take charges and use my length to get steals on and off the ball. So those are two big things I think I could bring to a team right off the bat.
Okay, and just to follow that up, one, have you been contacted by Phoenix? And two, what do you see when you look at that organization?
No, I have not been contacted by Phoenix, but when I see the organization, I see a growing team. They have firepower, but they're still, I got a lot to work on. They got some pieces to fill, but definitely a team to look for in the future.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you. With our next question, we'll go to Jason Carroll.
Jason, I can't hear you.
Jason, yeah. Jason, we can't hear you. We'll come back. I think maybe you might be having some with your mic difficulties. We'll come back. With our next question, we'll go to Kevin McPherson.
Zay, I'm back. Listening to you go through your interview process here, one of the things that stood out during your career was your economized setup to get into a shot. Not a lot of dribbling. And that's nuance now in basketball, the way the floor space, less is more. Talk about the fact that you probably were an underrated shot creator. You were in the 97th percentile, 89th percentile in your 2 years at Arkansas.
Yeah, so one big thing about my game is, getting your shots up with a limited amount of dribbles. I see players like Klay Thompson, JJ Redick, Buddy Hield. They're very good at, getting their shots up quick, whether 0 dribbles, maybe 2 or 3 dribbles, but they don't over dribble the ball. They get to where they need to, and, they knock down the shot. I feel like that's a big aspect of my game that I'm continually working on.
Another question I had for you real quick here. You talked about the injuries. You played healthy in 9 SEC games. That was 3 prior to the injury, 6 afterwards. So if you combine those 9 games, you actually averaged nearly 20.5 points. Your three-point shooting was 37, 38%. And your free throw shooting, I think, was over almost 98%. I think you missed one when healthy. Are the folks that you're talking to at the NBA level, have they been able to parse out the differences between healthy Isaiah Joe and Isaiah Joe who played injured to help his team?
Some of the teams, they know about the injury, and they mentioned the injury in the interview. But some people I had to explain to, the games that I played healthy versus the games that I was injured. So I think after explaining that to some of the teams, they got a better eye on things. But most definitely, I'm glad for you bringing up that point.
Great. Thank you. With our next question, we'll go back to Luis. He left. For the next question, we'll go back to Randy Zella.
Thank you. Isaiah, what are some of the things that you feel that you have to improve on in your game? And whoever drafts you, what are they getting in Isaiah Joe?
Yeah, so one of my biggest things is putting on weight and muscle, which I am during this time. And, I'm continuing working on my ball handling, my coming off screens, off the ball screens and catching and shooting, continue working on that. And what was your second question?
And whoever drafts you, what are they getting in Isaiah Joe? What kind of strengths and what are some of the things that they're going to be able to take advantage as far as your skill set is concerned?
Yeah, so they're getting a lethal shooter, somebody that can stretch the floor, have deep range, but no sets, and is very, very high IQ offensively and defensively. I can bring a leadership role. I feel like I've been able to develop that through my course of years at the University of Arkansas and in high school. So whatever the team needs from me, I can be able to provide that, but definitely my shooting, they're going to get that for sure.
Are there any nerves because this is a bigger stage and obviously a dream come true for you?
Not really any nerves. I mean, it's just like going from high school to college. You don't know what to expect, but at the end of the day, basketball is basketball. It is a different level. Teams and players are going to be a lot faster and stronger, which is going to take, got to adjust to that. But, with the hard work that I put in, I feel like I can adjust to that